This is the Rise and Shine Time. I'm Brother Dominic Christie, and I'm here with missionary Mark Weinert, missionary to Brazil. Been there for 21 years, and he's back here in the States. You're going to be going back to Brazil this September.
Yes,
and it's really been a blessing that you've come here on our lowly radio show to share your experience in the mission field. And what would you say is probably one of your greatest needs on the mission field?
Greatest needs is just to live by the faith that we preach and teach, and God gave me a helping hand in that a couple times in Brazil. One time the dollar lost 90% of its value overnight when a new president came in. And God took care of us. We had to live by faith. We didn't have enough. Our outgo was more than our income, and there wasn't any way to balance those two out.
Wow.
Then a couple of years ago, that happened again. My wife and I both got sick, and our insurance didn't cover a lot of the treatments that we were needing for the illnesses we had. And so we're still paying, tens of thousands of dollars, literally, for that, and half of our budget every month. There's not enough left to live on.
Sure.
But God has met every need.
Amen.
And this happened when we were in Brazil, and so literally the Brazilians started coming over, and they started asking us questions about things that they never did before, because they knew that, that probably wasn't something that usually American talks about. Their financial. It was kind of like being in Africa, and for the Africans to somehow find out and believe that they would really need to help you financially as an American. It's like that wouldn't make any sense to them at all.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense to the Brazilians either. But Brazilian brethren, sons in the faith, people we led to Christ, they started coming over and they started asking us questions and questions and questions and questions. And there are people that care about what's going on in your life personally and emotionally, but they were asking questions that led to that we had a financial need, and they started coming over with big, I don't know where in the world they got them, and they robbed a bank or what, but they just started coming over with big bills, with large amounts of money, and just giving it to us.
Wow.
To keep us on the field. They kept us on the field 1.5 years that way. Brazilian pastor friends would tell their church. The church actually believed them that this American needs our help.
Amazing.
And they would take up a huge offering and send it to us to keep us on the mission field.
Amazing.
When we came back, we didn't have money to come back. We didn't have money for rent. Went to see another missionary that was going on furlough. He said, "We really like you to stay in our house." I said, "I can't give you a dime. Your house is beautiful, huge. It was built for medium-sized groups of people coming from the States for a missionary experience or building or whatever. Beautiful, huge house." And I said, I can't give you a dime. And he just laughed. I said, "Well, why are you laughing?" He said, "Because God supplied a place for us to stay in the States rent-free, so you don't owe us anything. You just move right in.
Isn't that something?
Use this house for God's glory and for His ministry." And then when they came back, we were looking for the next place where we were going to go, whether it was going to be under a bridge or wherever. And right then, American Airlines came out with a new program of one-way tickets that you could buy for half the fly miles. And so we had about enough. So all of a sudden we had tickets, but we didn't have a place to stay. And so we asked the Lord's direction and waited on Him and believed in Psalms 32:8 and that He would instruct us and teach us. And He does. And we bought those tickets, but then we didn't have a vehicle. And so then we learned about this a Baptist Missionary Transportation Ministry in a church a mile south of Kansas City, Missouri, and called them, and all they had available was a car that really wasn't going to meet our needs, but we were ready to use it and put a car top carrier on it or whatever. But a couple days before we got back to the States, the head of the ministry called us. He said, "I got a surprise for us at the airport." And what we really had needed and been praying for was an Astra van.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, he pulled up with a tan Astra van, already just all our stuff perfectly fit in there. And then we needed some way to call. We didn't really have any money for phone. Had a missionary friend. He had an extra phone. Sent it to me. He said, "I only pay $12 a month. I got tons of rollover minutes that I'll never use. I got 4,000 or 5,000 of them. And so you just send me $12 a month. Here's the phone. Here you go. You can talk all you want." And so these are the kind of things that God has been doing.
That is amazing.
But the greatest thing is that as we've been going to the churches, we work with Brazilian pastors who are starting churches or Brazilian church planters, Timothy's or Titus's.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to them and help them to focus on pastoring the people, which we as a foreigner can't do very well. I know. I've tried and I've done it, but it's very, very difficult for both the pastor and the people. And so they've been able to focus on pastoring, and we've been able to focus on the missionary ministry of intensive evangelism training, and intensive Christian life training, and then intensive basic ministry training, so that the person is spiritually mature enough and stable enough in their Christian life to be a blessing, to be serving in the local church, and then to be able to do some academic training.
Yes, sir.
So we've seen that happen.
Wow, what a blessing. Again, this is the Rise and Shine time. I'm here with Brother Dominic, and I'm here with missionary Mark Weinert, missionary to Brazil. He's been there for 21 years, came back to the States here. If someone would like to contact you, Brother Mark, what's the best way that they can contact you?
Right now, by cell phone, our cell phone number is area code 812-296-8800. Really easy to remember. And 812-296-8800. And
your email address, I'm looking at your prayer card here, is marklisaw@live.com, or as you like to say, live.com.
That's right.
So that's marklisaw@live.com, and of course we'll have this posted on WBLWradio.com, so we'll, as well as with this interview. And we've also videotaped it, and we'll have it available on WBLW TV if someone would like to watch it again in the future. That would be just fine. Brother Mark, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're very welcome.
It was a blessing. You were an encouragement to me personally here on. This is Missionary to Northern Michigan.
Yes,
this radio station is,
right.
And it's an encouragement to hear how God will provide. He always does, so far and above what we could ever ask or dream of.
Absolutely.
And we're looking forward to seeing what God's going to do in our lives, and what God's going to continue to do in your life as you serve the Lord in Brazil.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're going to go to Proverbs, and we'll be back here on the Rise and Shine time. Thank you for tuning in this morning.